How does an air conditioner work? Let us first understand the basic principle of refrigeration. External work is done on the system and heat from our conditioned space, that is our room, is taken away and then dumped into ambience, which is at a higher temperature. Now coming back to our air conditioner, as we can see in the diagram, hot air goes in the AC unit at the top and we get the cool air from the bottom. In the inside, there are these pipe-like structures through which the cool refrigerant flows. Hot air comes in contact with the pipe and heat transfer occurs. Air is cooled down and it is blown out of the AC unit. On the other hand, the cool refrigerant liquid gains the heat from the room air and its temperature is raised. The cool refrigerant evaporates as it heats up, and this process is known as evaporation. But how does the refrigerant becomes cold again, and this process keeps on running in cycle? The whole cycle is based on a thermodynamic cycle called vapor, compression cycle, which we will discuss now. The four processes of this cycle are compression, condensation, expansion, and of course the process we have just discussed, evaporation. Now let us discuss this cycle. This is how the compressor looks. As we already know, the refrigerant comes out of the evaporator as a warm gas. In compressor, work is done on the gas and it is compressed to a high-pressure hot gas. These are the condenser units. High-pressure hot gas from compressor enters the condenser. The gas passes through the coils, comes in contact with the ambient air and its temperature reduces to ambient temperature. The refrigerant gas turns into liquid, the fan on the condenser blows ambient air over the coil carrying hot refrigerant, and thus heat is transferred through forced convection. Apart from that, there are fins on the coils and heat transfer occurs through that as well. In a nutshell, in the condenser, high-pressure hot gas condenses into high-pressure liquid. Now, there is expansion valve. As the name suggests, it is used to expand the high-pressure liquid. A diaphragm is used here to regulate the flow of refrigerant. A certain amount of liquid refrigerant passes the diaphragm and then there is a small orifice section. As the fluid passes through the orifice and exits from it, it rapidly expands and thus there is appreciable drop in pressure. This is called throttling. The pressure drop causes a significant drop in temperature of the refrigerant, as the enthalpy remains constant. Thus, high-pressure liquid refrigerant turns into low-pressure cold liquid refrigerant. Now, the refrigerant enters as a low-pressure cold liquid in the evaporator, exchanges heat with the hot room air as we have discussed in the beginning, and cools down the room air. Here is a small overview of the processes. This is how air conditioner works.